Welcome to the Romance Podcast. And here's the deal. Full disclosure, we had our entire episode planned of what we were going to do and our topic for tonight. I, as a good husband, I took Mackenzie's Jeep to go get gas because that's what I do. I get gas for my girl.
Yeah.
And then I stopped at Andy's, our favorite dessert place.
Ooh, get the frozen custard.
We are not sponsored by Andy's, but damn, is it good.
We would also love to be sponsored by Andy.
Oh, just,
we are in the market for that.
And don't even give us money. Just like give us free custard. It's so good. Anyways, I came back with your favorite like fruit, what's it called? Black raspberry and chocolate chip.
Oh.
Yeah. So did all those things, came back all ready to record the podcast. And Kenzie was like, oh, I changed the topic, by the way. We're going to do this. So I apologize that I'm not super prepared for this episode. Kenzie's very prepared.
I changed my mind.
I'm a little scared why you changed it because tell them what the topic is.
The topic is deal breakers.
Deal breakers. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering, like, in the time that I got you gas, got you Andy's, was there a deal breaker that happened that you're like, oh, I'm going to bust him out in the middle of the podcast and
you think I'm going to air you out live?
And shake up the internet?
No. I just felt it. I was thinking about it. And like we think about like, what are some good relationship topics, right? What should we discuss?
We had one.
We had one, which we are going to do.
Down the road, okay.
Put a pin in it.
Yeah.
You know what the problem is with that one?
Which one?
The one we were going to do.
Yeah, don't spill the beans on it.
I'm not going to.
Yeah, it was good, but okay.
I want to bring on a love therapist when we do that one. I think it's very important to get advice from a therapist when we talk about that. I don't think it should just be our opinion.
I'm not going to therapy. I've already told you this.
Shut your whore mouth because we're going to bring one on. No, so I actually want a professional opinion on that specific topic when we do dive into it.
Okay.
And obviously we didn't have them booked for tonight because I just came up with that idea in my head. I'm like, we really should have. I want to bring on Bella Gandhi. I love her. I used to have her on my radio show all the time. And I think that's an important thing to get a love professional opinion on. So today we're going to do something else.
Okay.
We're going to do deal breakers.
Deal breakers.
Yes.
All right. So walk us through that because I'm sure that you have some deal breakers.
I do.
And why don't you enlighten all of us?
So my number one thing that I'm looking for / deal breaker. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking for someone faithful. My number one deal breaker is unfaithfulness, right? So mine actually go hand in hand. That is the number one thing. I had a horrible past when it came to unfaithfulness. I've been cheated on
Mackenzie
over and over and over and over again
until you met me.
Mm-hmm. Now, but I got my eyes on you. But always and forever. But
and here's where the shakeup happens.
No. So and in fact, it was such a meaningful thing. Like faithfulness was so important to me. That's actually our wedding song is Faithfully by Journey. And that's what you brought to me because you knew this about me. We'd have obviously in being married and all, we'd had many conversations about faithfulness, what that meant to me, what being faithful means to me, because people have different definitions of that, by the way. And we've had long discussions about it. And it was actually your suggestion that we choose the song Faithfully by Journey to be like our song and our wedding song. And it actually was perfect for us. So
yeah, Journey's one of my favorite groups of all time. Steve Perry, I will go down saying, has one of the greatest voices of, I will say Steve Perry's voice, top 2 of all time. I think it's Steve Perry of Journey and then Wanya Morris of Boyz II Men have the 2 greatest male voices.
I thought you were saying Michael
time.
Jackson.
Yeah, listen, Michael Jackson's voice is amazing, impeccable. But like I'm talking about range. I think Steve Perry and Wanya Morris of Boyz II Men, those 2 have the greatest voices for men. I mean, women, I don't want to.
That's a whole other
battle.
Yeah,
Mariah Carey, Aretha Franklin, Celine Dion, Whitney Houston. I mean, there's a million of them. But for men, I would put top 2 Steve Perry and Wanya Morris. So anyways, I love Journey. I know faithfulness is a big deal to you. Faithfully has always been one of my favorite songs of all time. And when I pitched it to you, you were like, yeah, that's it. I'll go a step further, actually. But not only is it our wedding song, but, you know, Kenzie and I created a TV show on the Marquee Sports Network called The MVP Game. And you can check our socials and check out the show and everything.
Watch the show, apply to be on it, things like that.
Yeah, we co-host the show as well. But we had to create like a LLC for our business.
Like a company that owned the show basically had to then exist.
It's our company, but like we had to name it. And actually you came up with it. Tell them what it is.
It is Faithful Journey.
Faithful Journey. So think about that. Our wedding song is Faithfully by the group Journey, and our LLC name is called Faithful Journey. It takes on kind of a double meaning because obviously Journey and Faithfully, but it's like we are on this faithful journey together in marriage, like relationship, also in business. Like Kenzie and Roman is our baby and like our brand, and we are doing a lot of really cool things, but we expect to do bigger things.
Yes.
So we're on this faithful journey. So yeah, faithfulness is a big deal to you, obviously a big deal to me as well, but that is your deal breaker.
That is my, like, it really is just like everything to me, where if faithfulness and, you know, being faithful and stuff like that is wrecked in a relationship, it just ruins it. Because unfortunately, I've been dumb enough in the past to kind of like, oh, let me forgive and move on and do things. But you can't replicate your relationship from my experience. I know some people have gotten through really, really hard times and they're, you know, maybe there was reasons because someone had an addiction or things like that, right? Everyone has their own battle. Now, for me personally, it's always been like, well, I'm just going to get better at hiding it. Has been like my past experiences, right? Like they don't learn from their mistakes. They learn from the mistake of getting caught has been, which sucks. They just get smarter. They like level up like in a video game, which is really crappy.
Am I right?
Am I right? So I was like, the problem is that I forgave people, but forgetting is a totally different monster. Yeah. And it really like, the problem is, and this is a me thing, is that it would happen and then you forgive somebody and you want to move on, but you do the crime, or you do the time for a crime you didn't commit, if that makes sense. Like, you are the person who's punished. You're the one wondering, you're the one who feels bad about yourself, you're the one haunted by it. The person who does that, in a lot of cases, probably not always, but gets to kind of move on. Like, I know I'm never going to do it again, or whatever they feel internally, and they get to move on. You're the person who gets haunted by it. And then you feel bad for bringing it up because you forgave them. And it's this huge internal battle. And it just creates for such a negative life. And for me also, with being faithful, it's just, if you lie to me that much, because I think it takes so many steps, even emotionally or physically, to be unfaithful. Like, it's a lot of steps, right? Like, you seek somebody out, have conversation, develop something. You can't like trip and be unfaithful. Like, it takes a lot. And it's like that, to me, it's a lie every time. Every step you took towards that, it was something you weren't sharing with me. It was something you were telling me. It was a text you're hiding. It's a place that you hid that you went. And it's like, how could you lie over and over and over? And then it starts to feel like you're with a stranger. So it's something that I really, really struggle with. Like, who is in there, you know, that time and time again, you could send that message and look me in the face or whatever. It's just like, it's almost creepy, you know, like we're sitting together on the couch. What's going on? Yeah. So it really, I have learned that. And it was a good thing for me to learn, you know, in my life of like, okay, that's something that I just can't handle. So that was huge for me. I don't know. Do you have a deal breaker and or the most important thing you were looking for that's that big to you?
A couple of small things, like I could never date a smoker. That was something that I find smoking repulsive. And if you want to smoke, that's cool. But like, I'm not going to date you and I'm definitely not going to kiss you. And I thought it was disgusting. I'm not a big fan of smoke. Drugs, full disclosure, I've never done a drug in my entire life, ever. I never even smoked weed before. I never smoked a cigarette before. I never had a sip of coffee before. I'm about as straight.
Let's not put coffee with the drugs.
I know. I'm just
love
saying,
coffee.
I'm just saying I'm about as straight laced as you could possibly be as a person. I don't expect everyone to be that way, but because I don't do drugs, I never wanted to date a girl who did drugs.
Fair.
That was something I just never wanted to do. Even like weed, I know weed is like super legal now, at least here in Illinois. It wasn't my thing. I didn't want it to be my girl's thing. So smoking, drugs, I've alluded to this in the past, and you're going to roll your eyes.
Oh no, don't do something stupid.
But I truly, truly, truly could have never dated and or married a White Sox fan.
Oh.
I am a diehard Cubs fan, in case you don't know. Season ticket holder of 21 years. As we speak right now on this podcast, there is a game right now, the Cubs and White Sox, a really good game. And I'm like peeking over because we just came back and things are... But this is more important. You're more important. Podcast more important. My point is, I'm a psycho Cubs fan.
Yes.
It means a lot to me. Always has, always will. I don't care how perfect the girl may have been checking different boxes for me. I could never have dated a White Sox fan because the Cubs are such a big part of my life. Think about you. You came into my life, and how many times we go to Wrigley Field? How many times we go to Cubs games? How many times did we go to the bars in Wrigleyville? How many times? Well, now we created a TV show for the Chicago Cubs network. I mean, I am a Cubs diehard fan. A White Sox fan would not have meshed with me whatsoever. So you may laugh and think it's kind of superficial, but I'm serious when I say I could have never dated a White Sox fan. That is a deal breaker for me.
Yeah. I guess I could see that.
I know it's like kind of superficial, but like, why? What are you laughing at me for?
Oh my gosh!
You didn't see that coming?
No, I just I didn't know how hardcore that was for you.
I have one more. Okay, this is controversial, but I feel like this is our podcast and we tell it all, right? This is like our thing. I was a single dad for 5 years. Okay, I have a son. Okay, never was married, never was engaged before you, obviously, but I had a son, and I was bringing that to the table. When I was a single dad and I started to date, one of the things that I realized early on is I did not want to end up with somebody who had kids. And you may think that it's super hypocritical, and you're absolutely right. It is 1,000% hypocritical. I just know from my standpoint, it was hard enough to figure out my son's schedule. He's with his mom on the weekends. I didn't want to complicate it even further by finding a woman who had the same kind of schedule conflicts with the baby daddy. And I felt like it was too complicated. So what I did when I was dating is I realized pretty early on that I had to date somebody seriously with no kids. And you could judge me all you want. I'm being honest. I know it's hypocritical because I was bringing a kid to any relationship that I was going to be in, but I knew for myself I didn't want that in return.
I don't think that there's a problem. I think you can want whatever you want. That's the beauty of dating. And there's people who get mad at people's lists and stuff like that, but as long as you don't come into someone's life and try to be like, this is my list and you have to be it.
Right.
Just find somebody who matches. That's why you're supposed to find the perfect match.
Right. I found you, no kids, and we're good.
So exactly. So it's like you can want whatever you want. That's the beauty of it. It's that when you treat someone like crap because they're not meeting, it's not someone's job to be your list.
Yeah.
It's your job to find somebody that you mesh well with and that fulfills you. Right. Yeah. So I don't think that's wrong. I have to be honest. If you say you were unfaithful and we didn't work out, I would never be with somebody with kids again.
Yeah.
I would never do that.
You said that before. Why?
For a couple reasons. I have found out, like, I'm so close with Tristan. I've been in his life for so long now. There's other aspects rather than just raising the kid that are trickier than I imagined, which it's a lot and it's really worth it to have Tristan. But say I didn't get to have him anymore because we didn't work out. It'd be like, I can't believe how much effort I put into that and I don't have it. So that would be like, I cannot re-sign up for that. It would also be devastating. It would be like a double breakup for me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it would be so hard to lose a kid. I mean, think about over half of his life now. I've been in it and that would be so hard. And I don't think I could ever re-sign up for that for myself. I couldn't. I wouldn't be like, oh, you have an adorable, this person has an adorable daughter, adorable son. Like, no, thank you. I cannot do this again.
It's crazy though. So if we ever broke up and divorced, you would be coming to the table with a child, Marino.
And I couldn't do it.
And you wouldn't want to date somebody with a kid.
I couldn't do it.
Kind of like where I was, 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah. I truly could not do that. Like after, like you're recovering from losing one. So it's like, I mean, and I'm sure it's still good to be in his life. So it would just change. Like right now I'm in his life every single day. Like that would just be a painful experience, right? And then you're going to meet somebody else and try to build a relationship with their children and do the same. I couldn't.
It's tricky for sure.
Because you've never done what I've done, right? Like you haven't experienced that and you put so much into it, like to make it happen and to just have it taken away from you. I could never go for round two.
Well, these are hypotheticals because we are not breaking up and you will never have to worry about that whatsoever. And
I'd be so sad.
But those are our deal breakers, all right? So I guess one of mine is kind of goofy and funny, but it's real. And the other one is, hopefully you respect the fact that I got a little deep on that. Like that was a real thing for me. I didn't want to end up with someone with a kid.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move along here. We have a couple lists, you did, because again, you did a lot of research
I did.
on this topic without me even knowing about it. Mm-hmm. So this right here are the 6 biggest relationship deal breakers. This is actually like a list that has been put out by Psychology Today.
Okay.
Very great publication. So again, it is the
we're just sneaking in therapy.
Yeah,
I love it.
Oh man. The 6 biggest relationship deal breakers. Here they are.
Okay, hit me with it.
Number 1, gross, poor hygiene, smelling bad, being unattractive, having health issues like STDs. Yeah, okay, so STDs will be a deal breaker for a lot of people, right? Poor hygiene, smelling bad. I agree. We all know that smelly person. And it's like, I wouldn't want to date her or him, it's just like, I get hygiene is a real thing, put on some deodorant, put a splash of cologne on or for girls perfume and go about your day.
Yeah, no, I will say the being an attractive thing though is like, for me, it's so weird. I've never met someone and just immediately been like, oh, that's an attractive person.
You mean when you met me, you weren't like, is he a model?
No,
what?
I just am not like,
Look at me.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
I just am not like that. I just like have to, it sounds so stupid. We've kind of done this before. I have to get to know somebody.
Yeah.
Now, like, I can do it generally speaking, but when you're getting to like, would you date them? Would you kiss them? Would you hold hands with them? Then I'm like, oh, I need to know them as a person.
For me,
so I find like everyone unattractive until I know them.
For me, it's the opposite. Like I met you and I was like, she is so beautiful and so sexy and so hot. I knew instantly. Like for me, I can meet a hot girl and be like, wow, she's so hot. And then she walks it back because her personality sucks or because she's a bitch or whatever. You know what I'm saying like there are girls that are very, very, very attractive and very pretty, but their personality sucks.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I visually and physically I see her and she's hot. But like,
cool. Who are you talking about?
We're doing a podcast of like,
no, but who? This sounds very specific.
Anyways, but then I find out she's like, a gold digger or she's just, materialistic. There's just ugly traits about her personality, and that makes her less attractive. I've never met a girl to talk about what you're talking about. I've never met a girl who I was not attracted to, and then I found out that her personality was amazing, and I became attracted to her.
So did you think I was gonna like be a bitch when you met me?
No, I mean, I don't want to go over our story again, but like I met you and I instantly, I fell for you. You were insanely beautiful, but like you had a big smile, a big laugh. You had a great personality. So no, I knew you weren't like mean or like I said earlier, like a bitch.
Yeah, a bitch.
I knew you were a great girl with great moral values. So no, I didn't think that at all. But I mean, there are a lot of women out there that are very pretty that just are ugly when they're personalities.
That's fair.
And for guys too, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, right. But you don't date a lot of guys, so
I don't date any guys. For the record, I know we're in like Pride Month. I don't date any guys.
It's okay.
No, it's not okay. I'm married to you. I don't date any girls or guys.
That's good.
And I've never dated guys before.
It's good.
Ever.
That's good for you.
And if we divorced, I would never date. It's not happening.
You're not into guys.
Not into guys.
It's fine.
All right. Number 2 of our list of the 6 biggest relationship deal breakers. Addicted. Having an alcohol or a substance abuse problem, cigarette smoking, and having a criminal past. Kind of what I said earlier about no drugs or smoking or alcohol. As long as you're not like an alcoholic, like girls drink and whatever, you drink a little bit.
Yeah, well, if we have like a date night, I'll have a drink.
Yeah, but for me, cigarettes and drugs.
It's funny because alcohol was also something that I was really happy that you didn't drink a lot. Mm-hmm. Because also in the past, I've dated people who were like, they have drinks and they're like different people. Like they're aggressive and scary. And I always hated that. Like I didn't like going out going, oh my God, if this person drinks, this night's going to be horrible. That's an awful feeling. Like we can go out and have a cocktail and like, that's it. We don't get plastered. Yeah. So I really liked that you didn't drink a lot or like you have one drink if we have it. That was a lot better because I've been on definitely a horrible end of people changing because of alcohol.
And for the record, not only guys, I also dated somebody who was awesome. And then whenever she drank, she was a monster. Yeah. So it happens on both sexes. Alcohol, when not used properly, can be a big deal. Number 3, clingy. Being controlling, clingy, or too jealous.
See, I like a little clingy.
Yeah, you're clingy.
I'm not clingy. I just like being clinged to.
You're not clingy?
No. Why?
Look at the camera and tell them you're not clingy.
I'm not clingy. Why?
They're a big smile.
You think I'm clingy?
I think I love everything that you are. You are very clingy. You're not controlling. You're clingy and jealous.
That's not true.
That is so.
That's so not true.
You.
I'm jealous, or I have standards, and I'm like, well, that's inappropriate. What are the which one?
I guess all of them. I don't know. But
Okay.
like it's you, and I love that. I do love that. We joke around about you like you're like a puppy. Like you just want to be loved.
I do. I have golden retriever tendencies.
Yeah, and it's easy. You just.
But it's like fun. I'm like, want to go to a movie? Like I'm not like clingy. Like where are you? I'm like, let's go have dinner.
You're also kind of like, wait, you're not going out to dinner with the guys? Like I'm coming.
Why want to come? It sounds so fun.
It is fun.
Well,
Kenzie wants to be part of my like guy group text. I'm like, no, it's the guy group text.
They're my friends too.
Because of
You're
me.
leaving out that they're also my friends.
Because of me.
Okay, well, your friends that are also my friends, they text me separately, and I'm like, I don't know why I can't just be in the group chat.
Because you can't.
So that way I can be caught up. Because then they text me separately, and they're like, well, I've seen this girl, and this happened. And I'm like, well, I would have already known that if I was in the group chat. Like, why are you texting it twice?
I gotta still be a guy. We got the guys group chat.
What's going on in there?
And there are no girls allowed.
Why?
Anyways, number 4, promiscuous. Having had sex with many other partners and having dated many other people. This might be a double standard because I feel like guys get away with more of this than girls do. True or false?
Yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, unfortunately, I think society's just been like, well, as long as they don't do it, well, you date them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've just had to, like, accept it, which is a bummer because it is unattractive when guys have just done everything. And it does mess with your relationship. You can think, well, I just did that. Like, who cares about the past? Well, the past matters a little bit. Your past does create who you are in the present. And past can bring in issues and problems, and people can come from a past. And your actions do matter throughout your lifetime. So I think people are a little too loosey-goosey about it, but
Chris Rock had an awesome joke about this, and I'm going to misquote it, I'm sure, but it's something along the lines of like, don't ever ask your girl how many partners she's had before you, because no matter what number she says, it's way too many for you. And that's true. And he went on to say like, how many guys have been with? And she's like, 2. Oh, what are you, a whore? Like, I mean, like, no matter what number it is, us guys, we don't want to hear it, I don't think I never have asked you how many people you've been with before me, because I'm just going to assume there was nobody else and that I was the first.
Okay. And
what?
No, so we actually talked about this when we met, because we had that kind of conversation, and you said the same thing to me, like, I don't want to hear about it. I want to know about it. I don't want to. I'm like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I want to believe that you were raised the right way, and then
I guessed how many people you'd been with, and you got mad at me because you said I guessed so high and you found it disgusting, but I just knew guys who were like disgusting.
Well, your
like
guess
that.
was 1,241. I was like, that's disgusting.
It was not.
I don't remember that at all, actually.
Yeah, you don't remember. You have a bad memory. You do.
Sorry. Okay.
Sorry.
Is that a deal breaker? All right. We got 2 more here on this 6 biggest relationship deal breakers. Number 6, apathetic. Being inattentive or uncaring, being untrustworthy, and being dismissive of one's interests. Okay.
What?
That's a top 6 deal breaker?
I mean, being completely dismissive of somebody and being untrustworthy and being uncaring. Why wouldn't those be in?
Yeah, no, okay. I don't use the word apathetic very often, so I guess I'm turned off by that word. I don't really even know what it means.
Oh,
I guess.
I was trying to all encompass these things. So, okay, how about being uncaring, untrustworthy, and dismissive?
Yeah, okay, fine.
Does that sound
but
bad?
Those are basic. Like, you should, as a good person, as a good partner, you should be all those things. Like the good version of those things. You should be trustworthy and caring and interested in somebody's interests.
Yeah, but a lot of people aren't.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of people are not trustworthy.
Yeah,
Trust me.
Those people suck.
I know.
All right. Last but not least, number 6, unmotivated. Lacking ambition, having limited financial prospects, being too passive about life, and having different moral views than oneself. That's a good one. Unmotivated, I guess. You are extremely motivated. You always have been since I met you. It's very... It's a turn on. It's a great quality about you that I do love and I admire. I think it's a great quality. I think I have always had the same type of drive and determination as you. I think we had that in common. Like, I think that I was a go-getter from the very beginning, and you were a go-getter as well. I think that's kind of why we get along so well and why we created a brand together, and like we have dreams and we have aspirations, and because we're both very driven and motivated.
That actually brought up something else for me, just seeing in the top 6, a lot of times, like, you're older than me. I feel like I did date older because I got ahead like earlier in my career. Like, I started at B96 when I was 23. I moved to Tampa and had my own radio show at like 20. Like, I was younger at these jobs. And so a lot of guys my age were like still in college or they were interning, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just was like, I'm not in, like, I want someone who's already like doing what I'm doing. I don't want someone who's like, what should I major in? I think I'm going to switch it. Like, that's fine for you to go through that phase. But I was so like laser focused. I wasn't in the mood for that kind of stuff
like,
in my life.
When I was in college, I was living with my parents still. You wouldn't have liked that?
Nope. That would not have worked out for me at all.
I was touring the world with my group VI3, and I would come home and I would be taking out the garbage at my parents' house because I was living in my parents. Like, I literally, it was the craziest thing. I lived at home till I was 28 years old. I've told this story before. I was my first year at B96. I was still at home in Bloomingdale with my parents.
Yeah, that wouldn't have. That's not a turn on. In case you're wondering,
that doesn't work.
That doesn't get like the engines revving at all.
Oh, you met me. I had my own house, so that was
much better.
Good timing.
Much
right?
more what I was looking for.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so I was gonna tell you some funny ones. So like funnier deal breakers.
Funny deal breakers.
So I went on BuzzFeed because I love BuzzFeed.
Oh, it's great.
And people were typing in things like more the odd ones that bother them. Okay.
Okay.
So when they spit a lot, nothing turns my stomach more than when you see a guy hawking one up on the street.
So
you spit.
I spit a lot.
You do.
And I have a reason why.
Okay.
Because I have played baseball since I was 2 years old, and baseball players, I'll speak for all of us, we spit. When you're on the field, you spit a lot.
Why? Is there like dust in your mouth?
I don't even know why. I don't know why we spit.
Well, I know that
just
like
do.
Traditionally they did chewing tobacco.
Yeah, we didn't do in high school varsity. We weren't doing dip.
My dad was when he was in high school.
Okay, your dad also smoked.
Yeah.
So he may still smoke. We don't know. We don't know.
He had some issues with lying about that.
Okay.
It's an inside family matter.
So sorry. Sorry. Anyways, so as a baseball player, I've always spit. And now we're adults and everything. We're married. But like when I was younger, I mean, even in my 20s, I would go out with my mom like to a lunch or shopping. I don't know, whatever you do with your mom. And I would spit. My mom would yell at me. Wait, why are you? Stop spitting. It's disgusting.
It is disgusting. You just spit everywhere.
I'm just a baseball player, One more really cool story. So when I was in
that has to do with spit?
Yes, yeah. When I was in Jump Smokers, my EDM dance group, which by the way, we're kind of back together, putting out remixes and stuff like that, all to the good.
Okay.
But in our heyday, in Jump Smokers' heyday, we traveled the world: China, Taiwan, Philippines, Singapore, right? So we had a tour in Singapore. And did you know in Singapore that it's illegal to chew gum and illegal to spit? If they catch you spitting or chewing gum, you get arrested in Singapore.
Did they tell you? How'd you know that?
There's signs at the airport. I heard about it, and there are signs at the airport.
Were you so nervous you'd accidentally do it because you do that in a habit a lot?
I spit a lot. And so this is crazy. They have like 7-Elevens or comparable stores like that. And when you go to a 7-Eleven, there's an entire gum section. Mm-hmm. And in Singapore, the convenience stores, it's a mint section. All mints.
Oh, that's smart.
It's so crazy. Like you literally cannot chew gum or spit.
And you love gum too.
I love gum and I love to spit.
You could never live there.
It's a beautiful country.
But you couldn't handle
Beautiful country. But
can I tell a funny story about you with spit really fast?
Oh, jeez, what?
This is my favorite spit story with Justin.
What?
Okay, so when he was on the radio at B96, he had a producer named Jersey, who we love. We love us some Jersey.
We love Jersey. One of my really good friends.
And Jersey thought it would be funny to get behind Justin. And he put his hand in like a glass of water. Yeah. Okay, give a visual of his little fingers in the water. And he was behind Justin, so Justin couldn't see him. Mm-hmm. And he went like, achoo, and sneezed, and he flicked his fingers. So Justin felt like he thought all that went on his neck. Well, he was so mad, he turned around and he spit in his face. And he was like, oh, Justin, I didn't even sneeze on you. Whose natural reaction is to spit on someone? This is your friend.
I don't know what came over me, but like literally it was the most disgusting thing to feel that somebody just sneezed and slobbered and snotted all over the back of my neck. I was so pissed that I turned around and I spit in his face. I did.
And it was just a joke. You just gotta get your spitting under control, you psycho.
I'm like crying right now.
Oh, God.
Jersey, I love you.
Favorite story.
But that is a great story. That's a classic story.
It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite stories you've ever told me.
You know, that makes Eric Bradley, like, he will pee his pants. If you tell that story again, he'll text me randomly, like, I just cannot stop laughing at this prank gone bad. Really, it's a prank gone bad.
I'm like, poor Joe. Could you imagine doing that? He probably thought you were just going to yell at him or something, and he just gets spit in the face.
Radio people understand. I'm running the board, right? So my face is to the board, into the monitors, and all I hear is achoo, and I feel snots and just goobers.
But like, this is your friend, and you just right into his face. Like, what?
That is, I forgot. That's a great story.
It's the best spit story.
And it's totally true. No, there is not one lie told there.
Oh, it's my favorite. Okay. Another deal breaker. This is actually valid.
Okay.
When they have celebrity crushes / follow Instagram models or girls.
Jesus.
It's just kind of childish and pathetic that they're obsessed with somebody who would never want them. And that's kind of a funny take. It's true.
Why is that a funny take for you?
Because it's like, it is pathetic.
If you guys knew the conversations that we had in this house about Jennifer Lopez or Jessica Alba.
That's not true.
It's like,
you're lying. You are
you
lying.
Hate that I like any of her pictures.
You are Jess. You're talking about Alba right now?
Okay,
Absolutely not.
Jennifer Lopez.
That has never happened.
Jennifer Lopez.
I get mad.
Jennifer Lopez.
I get mad if you've not when you like just a normal J-Lo picture. I don't like if you like anything of like women in swimsuits.
Okay.
I don't give a F who it is.
Okay.
I don't care who it is. It's like, why would you do that? Because, full disclosure, you're not a fan of me posting pictures that look like that. So I don't understand, if it's not good when I do it, why is it good when someone else does it? That's my prerogative, and it's a correct prerogative. What?
So who entered that? Was it
kombucha?
Are you sure it wasn't Mackenzie?
No.
This is like your list. This is like your list.
No, it's not. I'm
Spitting.
fine. You spit all the time. I'm with you.
Spitting, but I feel like it's like a undercover, like, hey, get your shit together.
I really don't care that you spit. That's the least of my concerns. You're a handful.
But you care that I like J-Lo's pictures.
I care that you like random women's half nude pictures. That'll bother me, and we've had to work on that. When guys have feminine hands or long nails, I'm like, I've never dated a guy with long nails.
Like Coke nails, where it's like.
I see. I've never even thought about that. I wonder if people think I do Coke.
No,
because of my nails.
Because of your spastic ways.
I'm not spastic. If they're incapable of fixing things around the house, you cannot fix anything.
I'm not handy. Not at all.
I know.
Yeah.
If they're obsessed with cryptocurrency.
Oh, God, no.
That's a red flag. If they make TikToks, there are feminine TikToks that do bother me. Like, I get that.
There are but wait, this can go either way. Is it only for guys to girls?
These are girls' submissions.
So guys that make TikToks, that's like bad.
Some of them are cringy. Like some guys in TikToks are. I get it. It can have a feminine tendency. I get it.
Got it.
A guy who uses Snapchat, I totally understand. I completely understand. You've never had Snapchat.
I don't. Styles and Roman, my radio show. I think Courtney Hall, when I was doing the Bulls with her, she set up Snapchat. Oh, y'all got to be on Snapchat, yada yada yada. But like, we never ever used it.
Oh, I do hate this, and you don't do it. When a guy loudly burps, like with no effort, like in your face. I don't mind if you like have to, like that's fine.
So I don't do that, but who in your life does?
My co-host Brian.
Q&A1,
and
I'll
go disgusting because he'll literally, because we look at each other, so he like belches in my face, and he leans into it. Like most people, you feel okay, you look down, I would be mad. He's like, and like I'm standing there and I go, okay, that's gross, and it's my face. And he's like, oh. Sorry.
Yeah. You've come home and you're like, I hate that he belches so much.
I'm like, he just burped in my face like 5 times today.
So here, funny story about that. There was a girl in high school. I went to Lake Park High School.
Stop, a girl did this?
There was a girl, and she was 1 year older than us. I'm not going to say her name, but she was friends with some of our friends. Very pretty girl, by the way. Okay, pretty girl, a year older than us. And her thing was to burp and blow it in your face. And I thought it was the grossest.
Disgusting.
It was like, and honestly, this may sound horrible, but like if it's some like rancid girl who's like doing that, but like this is a pretty girl who like I feel like guys would have been attracted to, and maybe some were, but like it was the most unattractive thing I've ever seen a girl do. She would burp and blow it in your face. Gross.
That is honestly, that just bothers me so
I agree.
much.
I agree.
Also, I do love this submission. If they say Saturdays are for the boys, like that saying, I hate that saying. It's so cringy. It's very like
okay, but y'all got like
Chad in a frat house.
Okay, y'all got like girls' nights and like ladies' nights, and y'all
like,
do that.
Saturdays for the boys. It's like, oh my gosh, you've totally roofied somebody. Like that's the vibe it gets, and I
feel
don't
like
it.
On Instagram, I've put like pictures of me and Marino and me and Tristan, and then put Saturday for the boys. Like,
well, that's like a joke though. That's totally different. If you like dead ass mean it, like that's when it's like a joke because you're with our children,
right?
So it's funny.
Yeah.
And last one, and this is so true because a lot of people think it's attractive, but I think it's unattractive, and so does this person. When they're too into fitness. I hate when it's like, so we can't even like go get fun food or have like ice cream on a set. Like it spills into, we can't have a movie night because you haven't, done enough crunches today. Like there's something like obsessive about that. Like I want to have like a fun life with you still. I can't stand that.
That's why I've cut back on my workouts.
And I so appreciate you
and I
listening to me.
I'm not as cut as I want to be because I don't want to turn you off.
No, and I appreciate it. I do. I prefer it like this.
Like what? Actually, what? I feel like I'm in good shape. What are you talking about?
You are in really good shape, but I wouldn't want like an 8-pack.
Do you remember something funny? And you know this story, but like today I kind of had a big meeting downtown, and it was really cool. And I kind of like looked the part, I was like, I felt good about everything. And so my mom was over to watch Marino because you were at work still.
Yes.
And I come downstairs, my mom goes, "You've lost weight." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you." She's like, "It's not a compliment." I'm like, "Oh, okay, thank you." It's just like, I'm going downtown for like this big meeting. And like, at first she's like, I'm not trying to like lose weight or anything, but like when someone says, "Oh, you've lost weight," I was like, "Oh, thanks."
Well, it's usually a compliment.
Yeah.
And traditionally.
So I go, "Thank you." She's like, "It's not a compliment." I was like, "What the fuck?"
Well, I have told you, I'm like, don't get too skinny mini because I like the snuggle.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I like.
Are you done with your list?
Yes, those are my funny ones.
That was good. That was fun.
And I did good. I'm happy you had fun.
Yeah.
I do think it's an important thing we want to talk about is I think that people need to realize the difference between deal breakers and preferences.
Yeah.
So a lot of like people put height and hair color and there's all these things on there that are, I would argue, a Sox fan, things like that.
That's a deal breaker.
That's a deal breaker for you.
Yep.
But I do think there's a lot of people out there who are struggling to find somebody, right? We get a lot of messages about that. And of course, before I found you, I didn't have somebody, right? And vice versa. So I think that if more people would look at their list and realize what is a deal breaker and what is a preference, I think more people would end up in relationships because you just got to be open-minded to stuff. I think that that's really important because you may think like, I know I'm 100% attracted to this or 100% like this, but you haven't tried that. I just think that that's important. And I think if you are having a hard time finding someone, I think you should relook over your list and truly divide it into deal breaker, moral, you would be unhappy or would be super happy, and what's like that would be nice, and figure that out.
I don't like lists at all. Like, here's the deal. I don't, if I met a girl who was a blonde and she was attractive and she's super cool, all right, I would have been all in, I don't have like a list like that. She had to be this tall. She had to be this color hair. She had to be this nationality. I never had that. Like, I felt like I vibe who I vibe with.
But you told me that you naturally do lean into like my kind of features, like a darker hair, darker.
Yeah, I mean, if you like ask my celebrity crush, like it's definitely more of your thing, right? I mean, but I mean, I've dated blondes in the past. Like, I feel like when you vibe with somebody, you vibe with somebody. So I didn't have a list per se.
Right.
I had some do nots, like no smoking, no drugs.
Well, that's important.
No White Sox.
You have to have that.
It was those things, but like I didn't have like she had to be 5'7" or I never. I don't think you guys should do that. And I'm trying to give some advice here. I think if you're single, you shouldn't have a list of like boom, 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 boom. You vibe with who you vibe with, right? That makes sense. You vibe with who you vibe with, right? I mean, you really, it doesn't matter,
But that's what I'm saying is that's kind of what I'm saying though, is like, I think it's important to have a list of things that are like, again,
turn-offs.
Yeah. Like that you're like, this is where I stand. And to you, it may be like religion, because like it's really important to you to raise kids in a religion, in a certain religion or something like that. So those type of things they're going to cause conflict. Like then you fall in love with somebody and that doesn't match up and now it's a problem. Yeah. So it's important to have that type of list of your true happiness and what you want. Don't date somebody if you really want to have kids that doesn't want to have kids. Right. You're causing an issue in your life, right? So those type of things, but the rest really are preference. And you kind of prefer this. It doesn't mean that's going to be bad. And to be honest, like I ended up with you and you're tall, okay?
Very tall.
But I did not have I'm 5'2". I dated shorter guys and I kind of always thought I would be here for the short guys. Like I'm going to pull out a win for them. Don't worry. I'm one of the only girls who doesn't have that preference. So I feel bad about it.
You grab someone who's 6'3".
I know. And I feel guilty because I had no height preference ever because to be honest, everyone was taller than me. So I just never thought about it. Yeah. But there's so many girls always a little shorter. It's try to not do that kind of stuff,
I hear you, for sure. All right, well, listen, that was a lot of fun. I'm really glad you switched up the topic on us. That was really cool.
Good.
We are going to close with Famously in Love. Mm-hmm. This is always one of our favorite kind of segments. Actually, it's our only segment we're talking about. This is
the relationships of the rest of it. Our relationships the other segment.
Famously in Love, 11 celebrities dish on their personal dating deal breakers. This is kind of cool.
So some celebrity deal breakers.
Yeah. So, all right, here we go. Pete Davidson. The biggest one is when someone is rude to a waiter or a waitress at a restaurant.
Good call.
And it would guarantee they wouldn't get a second date. And I quote, "I hate that." Immediately in my head, I'd be like, "This is it," he said on this certain podcast.
Yeah, don't shout out another podcast. You have to read this verbatim.
He said on the romance podcast.
Yeah, that's what he said right now. We just quoted him. That's a great one. Yeah. And I'm sure also with the type of women he gets to date, you come across more attitudes and bougier attitudes, I'm sure.
Kim Kardashian?
I'm just saying he gets to date famous rich women. So I would imagine they end up being a little bougier than me.
What's the deal with Pete Davidson? I mean, he has dated some of the most beautiful, Kate Beckinsale, who I think is insanely beautiful and very classy looking. Mm-hmm. He dated her. Kim Kardashian, right? Ariana
Grande.
I mean, honestly, I will not be mad. I don't get mad about this kind of stuff. Do you find Pete Davidson good looking?
No.
How in the world is he getting these girls?
I think funny goes a long way.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know what he's like in a one-on-one setting. Yeah. So, but I heard funny goes a long way. I think from what I've gathered, he seems more down to earth. So these are really famous girls who are probably around bougie guys all the time. Okay. Who are full of themselves. I think he still lives in Staten Island and stuff. He's kept his life more chill, which may be very refreshing for some people. And the rumor is that he had a really big dick. That was the rumor.
Okay.
Sorry, it is. That's what everyone said, is that he was packing and super good in the bed. So okay. I don't know.
All right. Sounds good.
I guess everyone wanted to try.
Jana Kramer, who I like Jana Kramer. She is a country artist who has had a couple big, a song called I Got the Boy is a phenomenal song. Have you heard?
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful song. I got to know her because when we were doing mornings at US 99, she was on Dancing with the Stars. Mm-hmm. And so she would check in with us every Monday after the show aired. That next morning, she would check in every single week. And she was really, really cool. Very, very funny, very good personality and everything like that. She's been married a few times.
Oh, really?
She's been cheated on a bunch of times.
Oh, I feel you, girl.
Yeah. So interesting here. Her big thing was Jana Kramer, who was baptized as a Christian, explained that after going on a date with a Jewish man, she decided that she only wanted to pursue someone of the same religion as her.
I totally get that. Yep. And I don't think that that's bad because it doesn't mean that you are you hate the other religion or down it. But if you do want to get married and have children and your religion is super important to you and you want to have a partner and an ally in that, that's one of those things that you need to know beforehand. You cannot date that Jewish man and then make him feel bad later. Then that's on you. It's your job to know those things beforehand.
Years and years and years ago, I went on a date and the girl was Jewish. I didn't realize that, but the dinner you're talking about it.
Yes.
What did you say?
I said you were talking.
Yeah, we're talking. And it's just so stupid because it was literally a first date, okay? And I'm Jewish, and for those that don't know, I'm Christian, and I don't know how it came up, but it came up that she would never, ever, ever, ever convert. Like she was a diehard Jewish woman, and then we just started talking about like, oh, but if you've met somebody and and kid, and it was like no, like Jewish, and I was like, for me like. Christianity and like then Christmas and Santa Claus, like all those things are way too important to me. And I know it was
Santa Claus doesn't align with that.
Well, but it does. I mean, because Christmas and Christianity, like it's symbolic. But my point is like I wanted my kids and my family to grow up that way. And I was like, even though it was a first date and we may have not gone on a second date anyways, I was like, well, let's stop that because there's just no future whatsoever.
Honestly, good for her for not being like, well, maybe she knew that she wouldn't, and then nobody wasted their time though. Like that's what's important,
absolutely,
right away, and
Nick Jonas of the Jonas Brothers. Where is this one? All right, the worst dates are when people know more about me than is comfortable. She just starts asking me questions that you wouldn't know unless I told you, but she knew from wherever, online or something. So like fans, like he would never like a deal breaker is when he finds out that a girl is kind of a closet Joe bro.
Right, like she's clearly on the date with him because he's a Jonas brother, not because this guy asked her out.
Yeah.
We as regular people probably wouldn't face this very much.
Did I ever tell the story of me and the Jonas Brothers in Canada?
I know this story.
This is a great story. So again, back in my Jump Smokers days, we were touring the world and we were really big in Canada for a while. And so we performed at a club in Canada and afterwards we're getting mobbed by like fans and everything like that and taking pictures and whatever. And I get to my hotel and I'm about to go to sleep. I'm winding down like I'm on Twitter and whatever. And I see that there's a picture of me and this girl that I met. And the caption is literally like, oh my God, I can't believe I met Joe Jonas. And it's me in the picture. And I was like, this freaking girl thought she was talking to Joe Jonas or Nick, one of the two. I was like, I cannot believe that. Like my ego, like if you ever had an ego, it was deflated instantly when you saw that.
No, that one hurts. That has to hurt.
She was so excited to meet me. No.
And you're just like kind of crushing it. Yeah. I'm so growing.
And then I'm like, did the entire club in Canada think that we were the Jonas Brothers? And like,
also, you should have gotten paid more if they thought that.
Oh, whatever. Okay, Chris Evans. Who is he? Chris Evans is the guy from...
he's Captain America.
Okay, gotcha. Captain America.
Does that do anything for you?
I get him confused. Chris Pratt is the one with the meme that I like, or the GIF I like so much. With the,
yes, it's not Chris Pratt.
Not him. Okay, cool.
It's Chris Evans.
Okay, Chris Evans says he feels it's really important for whoever he's dating to be independent and have their own personal interests. He admits that he can feel suffocated when someone begins to shape their life around him. So he doesn't like clingy. He doesn't like...
So that's one of his deal breakers.
Yeah, he
would not like me.
He wants to breathe.
I'm like, let's do it together. Let's go breathe.
He believes that Saturdays are for the boys.
He does not.
Yes, he does.
No, he does not.
He believes that.
Stop.
Kiki Palmer. Who is she, by the way?
You did not just say that.
I don't know who she is.
You know who Kiki Palmer is?
I don't. Who is it?
I don't know. She's been in like 800,000 things.
Okay. Well, why don't you read this one? I'm gonna look at a picture.
She's been in Scream Queens. She's been, she was the first Black Cinderella on Broadway because Brandy was the first one. Hello, in movies with Whitney Houston. You really like
Kiki Palmer.
You know Kiki Palmer. I can't with you. You've never seen Kiki Palmer?
I don't think so.
Oh, hold on. I gotta look up even more movies.
No. Let's keep it going.
Because now it's bothering me.
Well, what's the big deal? If I don't know who she is, I don't know who she is.
Because like she's so famous, it's just weird that you, because she also like she sings, she dances, she acts.
Is she the one that Usher had a controversy with? Because he was Usher singing to her and she's like half naked, and then
she wasn't half naked. She was wearing a sexy dress, and her baby daddy got really mad.
Yeah.
And posted about her. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I know that.
Yeah. She's the same thing. She explained that she's often too busy and she doesn't like when men are codependent.
Gotcha.
See, I like doing stuff with my significant other. Just, I don't know. I guess it's just me.
That's all. You like it so much that we created a brand together and we have a TV show together.
And now I have an excuse. I'm like, well, we have to go to work.
And a podcast. How are you going to just skip over Harry Styles?
I'm not. I'm trying to read it.
You use 2 fingers there. This is easy.
I don't know how to work a MacBook. Okay. I'm trying to scroll with the arrows.
All right. Harry Styles says the person he dates needs to have their time management skills in check. He once admitted that being late to a first date was a deal breaker for him. Interesting.
Oh, late to the date's a problem.
Yeah. He says if you are going on a first date, just be early first of all. Just don't be late. It's tardy, and no one likes tardy people. Wow.
Wow.
Interesting.
Very prompt. I feel like some people like to be late to the first date though, because they're so nervous to be the first one there. You know.
Yeah, I think you like to be late to everything.
That's not true.
It's pretty true.
I'm on time all the time.
All right, Charlie Sheen, who is the poster child for like perfection.
Obviously, he's the...
Charlie Sheen has some pretty specific deal breakers, and they all have to do with feet. I've not dated girls because of their feet, just the length of certain toes and the shape of where things should be, and they're not. Hammer toes are bad, and the second toe being too long, that's bad too.
That actually sums up probably why he doesn't have a good relationship.
Oh my God, that's fun. I mean, he's honest. I love it.
Oh my God.
That's cool.
He's something. He's something.
Halle Berry. When it comes to dating, she has a strict policy about not dating someone who used to date a friend. Okay, that's cool. So, like, she will not date a friend's ex.
Well, I feel like you'd just be a crappy person if you did that.
When a fan asked if she'd go out with a friend's ex-boyfriend or ex-husband, she said it was a definite no. She wrote, no, I effing wouldn't. No, the answer is no. That's a cardinal sin. You don't date your bestie's exes. If I know you, I'm not dating your past. Nothing, because that's just not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's horrible. Who would do that?
I've said this before. I'll say it again. One of my favorite things about you is that you were new to Chicago. I met you on the second day of Chicago. I don't know anybody who's dated you. Period.
That's your favorite thing about me?
I said one of my favorite things about you
is that you don't know people who dated me?
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Gee, it's really hard to impress you.
All right. Should we end on this one?
Let's end with Mariah.
Okay. You mean you want to pass up JoJo Siwa and Bella Thorne?
Yeah, let's just go right to Mariah.
Let's end on the queen, Mariah Carey. All right, let's see. She is very clear about her stance regarding holidays. Okay.
Like her birthday, because she goes with the anniversary.
Yeah, Mariah Carey. She's awesome, but she's got her thing. I
love it.
She does not recognize birthdays. She calls them anniversaries.
I love her.
She says she couldn't imagine dating someone who didn't love the holidays. And I quote: "There was a person in my life at one time. We won't say names, and they didn't love holidays." And I was like, well, you're with the wrong person then, honey. You have to love Christmas. Mariah told
That
E!
is
News.
So fair that you cannot be annoyed about. Christmas is like 6 months for Mariah Carey. She's got to work.
Yeah. I mean, that also then, without being a Debbie Downer, it means that Mariah Carey would not date a Jewish man. Right?
Probably not.
I've connected those dots.
There you go.
Who knew that Mariah Carey...
Her and Jana Kramer are like
the
same person.
Mariah and Jana will both not date Jewish men. All right. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this episode of the Romance Podcast. I know I did. It was fun. Thank you.
It was a good one.
Yeah, you surprised me.
I did.
We're kind of like Smartlist, where we kind of like just surprise the other person. We should do that.
Yeah,
now.
no, we're Smartlist with that, like a bunch of all the listeners and the money and all that stuff. Yeah.
And the fame. Yeah,
yes.
we are. We're
besides that,
we're like penniless.
We're penniless.
No, I'm kidding. All right. Thank y'all for listening. And do not forget, you cannot spell romance without Roman.